plaintiff, James Miller, says 25 years ago he was married to the defendant's sister, but she left him for another man and was later murdered by a jealous husband. James claims he and the defendant eventually got engaged, but she called it off, so he's suing for the engagement ring. Defendant Kimberly Brooks says her sister left James after he knocked her teeth in, and she claims James also abused her. And she has the police reports to prove it. Kimberly insists she and James were never engaged, and she's countersuing him for the cost of a trampoline.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, Miss Brooks is my ex-fiancée.
Is that right?
No, sir. No, Your Honor. No.
She said she never met you. He's delusional?
He's delusional, yes.
So she said she doesn't know you.
She knows me.
Go ahead, tell me what you want me to.
Well,
convince me that you know her.
Crazy thing, Your Honor. Actually, 25 years ago or so, I was actually married to her sister.
Oh, that's why she playing like she don't know you. I don't blame her.
A couple years of marriage, couple of kids. She decided it wasn't what she wanted, left me and the kids, and left for another man. And tragically, a few years later, she was killed by a jealous husband.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Sorry to hear that.
So we jump ahead.
Did not leave him for another man.
Oh.
No, she did not. He's done her dirty. He's knocked her teeth out. He's done a lot of things to her. And
He knocked your sister's,
my sister's
your deceased
teeth out.
sister's
She left him, and he knocked her teeth out. He's threatened her to get my nephew with him, and he's done a lot of horrible things to her. And that's why she left him, and she ended up getting married twice. And the man that she married the last time did shoot her and shot himself, and he is lying to you. He's the one that did her the same way he's doing me.
He's assaulted you?
Pardon? Yes, he has assaulted me.
You?
Yes, he has, and I've got...
Not true, Your Honor.
Police report?
Yes, I have police reports, and I have...
Let's see him, please, Doc. Now, you're suing about an engagement ring, but this is a police report against you for threats that she alleges you made. On the date and time, Ms. Kimberly Brooks reports that her ex-boyfriend called her several times making threatening statements such as, "I'm going to bust your face. You bring your new boyfriend here and I'll bust his face." Mrs. Brooks fears for her safety. Did they follow up with him? Did they speak to him about it?
Yes, they have.
Sir?
It's the first I ever heard of that.
All right. You all, this is the first time for a lot of stuff for you all today. First time you've met him, then this is the first time you've heard of this report. Do you have another one?
Yes, I do, sir.
But the case is about the engagement, so I'm going to allow you to give me some background on your relationship. Okay, I hear now that you have done what many people in the old days, that's happened a lot. I think that happened with my grandfather. I never met him, it was early on. So he was married and had 7 children by his first wife. And when she died, he married her sister. And I've heard that was commonplace in those days. And just as a kind of, okay, I'll help you with the children, so I'll marry you. I see some folks, some mature folks shaking their head. Am I right or wrong? All right, I hear you all grinning about my grandfather. Y'all playing the dozens now. Y'all playing the dozens. Y'all laughing about the wrong stuff. So don't talk about my mama. And that extends to my grandmama and her mama, who I never knew, but just a fact. But no, so it was a tradition, and I don't know whether is that the tradition you were following?
No, Your Honor. It was some 25 years later or so, we met at a Valentine's Day party and got to talking.
He was on cocaine too at the time and had me on it the first year that we got together. The first time we got together, he had me on it.
That's not true, Your Honor.
He's always told me if I opened my mouth that he would knock it out of my mouth if I brought his name in my mouth.
Honor.
All right.
If all this is going on, why were we together like 8 years? if I'm abusive, and
Because me and my grandson needed a place to live, and he knew I didn't have the money to get anywhere to where he would tell me to go ahead and spend my money on what I wanted to, but feed
you
his
actually moved out a
32-year-old
few
man.
times, and I actually gave you the money and helped you. And then you still came back. If
Right.
you're such a bad guy.
Okay.
She wanted
Right.
that pure blow he was setting out, doctor.
Might have been something else.
He said that stuff on the other side of town ain't no good. Go ahead, sir. Ma'am, you're the one said you were on it with him. Don't get mad at me.
I'm not getting mad at you,
Man
Your
didn't
Honor.
shove it up your nose.
I'm not getting mad at
Like
you,
he
Your Honor.
got you on it. He exposed you to it.
He kept dragging me in.
He didn't make you put that up your nose, ma'am.
No, he did not make that. I thought you said something else. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No,
I
you
know he
said
did.
you were
I
on
did
cocaine.
that, and I
He
did not
had
like
you
it.
on cocaine. That's what you said.
Well, I didn't mean to say it that
You
way.
got plenty of
I'm
women
saying
whose
when I was-
husbands are alcoholics and dope heads, and the women don't do anything. In fact,
Right.
they fuss at them all the time
Right.
about being a dope head and an alcoholic.
Right.
So just because the husband is a dope head and or an alcoholic doesn't mean that you have to be. Let's talk about this engagement ring.
Well, Your Honor, I tried my hardest. I couldn't make this woman happy for nothing.
When did you all become engaged?
January the 23rd, 2013.
All right. Tell me how it went down, because I think she said you've never been engaged, right?
Never.
All right. Go ahead. You tell me how that went down.
Never.
We decided to get back together, and she would say, put a ring on it or you're going to lose it. Thanks, Beyonce.
That's Beyonce. You say, thanks, Beyonce.
So, you know, I wanted to make her happy, do the right thing, you know. So I bought her an engagement ring.
What
Went to
did you
her
say? At
house.
some point you have to say, will you marry me? Or
Yeah.
when you handed it to her, you said, this is for marriage?
January the
and-
23rd, 2013, I went to her house on a cold January day, got her in the truck, proposed to her. She accepted the ring, and didn't do any good. She still left me anyway.
How long after?
July the 4th.
So, okay, you lasted a good 7 months?
Yeah, I hung in there as long as I could, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am.
He's lying to you, Your Honor.
She
About
took all the-
what? You all were never
that
engaged?
he asked me to be engaged to him or whatever. He come by my mother's house. I had left him. I moved in my mother. She came from Vegas to get me away from him. When I went to her house, he called me up. He asked me, he says, Kim, would you want to go with me to the pawn shop to look around to get out of the house for a while? I said, why? And he says, just get out of the house for a while. So I said, yes. So we went to the pawn shop. And we started looking around, you know, I guess something for his grandkid or whatever. And I was joking with him. I said, you gonna buy me a ring? And he looked at me and he said, are you serious? I said, yeah, you know, just buy me a ring. And he says, well, pick one out. He got the ring. He put it on layaway. About a month later, he comes by my mother's house. He pulls up in the front, calls me out to the truck. I go out to the truck. He sits there and he tells me, he says, I got something to say to you, but I don't want you to flip out on me. Well, I got teary-eyed because I thought he was going to say that he's been cheating still. So he never did reply, you know. So he got the ring out of the glove box, in the box. He handed it to me. I put it on my own finger. I told him thank you. He gave me a kiss on the cheek, and he drove off.
What did you think he meant when he didn't tell you he was cheating? You knew he had something else important to tell you. What did you conclude it might have
Because
been?
I knew that he wanted to confess to me that he had just been cheating with
Okay, but when he
prostitutes.
didn't do that, did you think of an alternate reason?
He didn't want to bring it out to me because he knew I was already hurt.
So you
because I
think
was
he
teary-eyed.
changed his mind from the time he called you out to the truck to the time you got in the truck?
Right,
He changed his mind about telling you that he was cheating.
right.
So instead of saying, come on, honey, let me tell you, I've been cheating. Instead of that, he said, come on, honey, let me kiss you and give you a ring.
No.
That's a big difference.
No, he did not
He
do
changed
that.
his mind dramatically. You said he kissed you.
Yeah, he kissed me on the cheek and drove off. He didn't ask me to marry him.
He gave you a ring, though.
Yes, but it
That's
was a
what
gift.
I'm saying.
It was a gift.
Because your story doesn't make sense. If you think a man is calling you out there to tell you that he is cheating on you when he says, I have something important to tell you, and instead he gives you a kiss and gives you a ring, that's a drastic difference. You said it never dawned on you that there were any other reasons for him calling you out there.
Exactly. I didn't even know the
Gotcha.
ring was out
What
there.
type of ring was it?
This one here. It
No,
was a
okay,
gift.
let's see it, please. So I can tell whether it's an engagement ring.
If he wants it back, he could have it back as long as he stays out of my life.
She sure don't have it on the wedding finger, that's for sure.
Well, it
Never
changes,
was.
Your Honor, from day to day.
Is
It's
this an
going this finger,
engagement
that
ring?
finger.
I think it is.
Solitaire.
It's an engagement ring. Pretty nice
Because
one, too.
I picked it out.
Pretty nice one. You got a couple dollars, don't you?
Couple.
And you don't have nobody now, do you?
No.
You could be a popular man leaving here. You don't mind giving it back to him then?
I don't want to give it back to him.
Oh, okay. There you go. If you don't want to give it back, you just pay him. Now,
Oh,
your
I have to pay
trampoline.
him? Well, give it back to
what
him.
are you suing from?
I've not got the money to pay it back to him. I'm just telling you, it was not an engagement ring.
Okay, and I believe it was. Now, your counterclaim for $400 for a trampoline is for what? How does he owe you for that?
Because I bought it for my grandson, and his grandkids were there, and he had me babysitting his grandkids while they were in school because their mother was getting her things together. His youngest grandson went and poked holes all over it, like 3 or 4 holes in it. He messed it up. So I asked him, "Are you going to pay me for that trampoline?" He says, "You don't know who did it, so I'm not paying for nothing." I said, "Yes, because I seen him go back there to go poke the holes in it, and I told him he better not do it." So
Sir?
Not true, Your Honor.
it is true.
All kinds of kids were playing on that trampoline. It's under a tree.
I
There's
watched
limbs
it.
laying on it, all around it.
Did she mention it
And
to
there
you?
was no other kids there.
Yes, she did. And I went back there and looked. There's no way to prove. They told me they don't know who did
Did you
it.
speak to the
The little
child?
boy.
Yes.
And what did he say?
Said he didn't do it.
All right.
There's no telling
And
who
there were
done it.
several kids back there.
No, there
and
wasn't.
we know that you all have animosity. And since you want to hang on to that ring so much, you go ahead and hang on to it. $898 is your judgment for that ring that she just must have. And clearly it's an
No, I
engagement
don't want this ring.
And I know, but you're going to pay for it.
I have not got
You
the
can do
money.
whatever you want with it. Just
I have
pay
not
for
got
it.
the money.
And your
Okay, I'll sell
counterclaim,
it.
ma'am,
Okay,
for the
I got it.
trampoline is dismissed.
All
you
right.
have a good day.
Thank
you haven't
you.
been able to
I'll pay
prove
it for
that
it.
he is associated with that. Bye-bye.
You know what? I'm happy the way this went because I will give him the whatever $899 back because it's worth more than the $899.
She don't deserve the ring.
So, well, you didn't
The day
deserve
after
my.
she
You don't
left me,
deserve
she
my
got
trampoline. You know
engaged.
what? You're a piece of because you know what? I
Right.
know what you're about. Nobody else knows what you're about.
Right. We all know what you're about.
You're a piece of
Got engaged the next day after you left me?
You're a piece of
Yeah.
You go to strip
Whatever.
joints. You sit there and do other women. You take strippers to your house. I didn't say all that.
That's a lie. There was only one time, and I
You know
bought
what?
her a ring.
I'm happy the way everything went. I'm very happy. He's done nothing but destroy
am
my
too,
family
but I want the ring back.
and me.